Listener discretion is advised.
The opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the individuals, and they do not reflect any official view of the United Steelworkers, USW Local 105, or its officers or sub-board members for officers.
Now, from the banks of the mighty Mississippi, this is Steel Revolution.
Hello, podcast listeners, and welcome to Steel Revolution 96.
9-6.
I'm Roy Hutt.
I'm Mike Nicholas.
Lee Schaefer.
Sean Geisens.
All right, let's get right into it. A lot of local news here. So we'll get through that and move on down the road here. So the no news, which is bad news. The International and the company, I don't know if I could call that continue to work. But anyway, still don't have a COVID policy to address attendance. So we still will wait on that.
Yeah.
198 days until the contract expires. 12 p.m. June 15th.
Save your money.
May 15th, you mean?
May 15th.
Yeah, May 15th. Good catch, Lee.
Thanks, Lee.
That's what I'm here for.
Do a good job, Lee.
Thanks.
Buddy.
Anyway, like Mike says, save your money, but not only save your money, but you might want to check with your bank and make sure they're willing to help you out in case there's a labor dispute or a labor stoppage, whether it's a strike or a lockout.
And for those of you that bank at Essentra, we will be working with them and putting a letter in the Forerunner within the next month.
You can bank on that. Actually, they're a credit union. You can not have nothing with that one.
Thanks, Lee. We'll get to that later.
Okay.
Or not. Really. But
I'll give you credit for that. How about that?
There we go.
There you
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks. 10 minutes later.
was that your plan? Stall long enough for Sean
Sean to get a
come up with something?
one-liner.
Thank you, buddy.
Those two work together, I think.
That's,
Yeah.
tandem.
So as we've seen, or I've been told, there's some people from the old IH or Deere Credit Union.
Deere. Yeah.
What did it change its name to, we think?
Vibrant.
Vibrant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That they are not helping the striking Deere employees.
That's what we're hearing. I've been asking questions, too.
So, again, it is important. Don't wait till the last minute to see if your bank's going to help you. We know from the past, at least, we are for certain Essentra will. You know, the Family Credit Union did last year. We'll reach out to them, and we'll reach out to some others. But, again, if you want a bank with a strong commitment to help you out, it's Essentra.
And I will tell you, Essentra's the one that called us and brought it up. So, again, like Roy said, if you want to bank with somebody that's strong and will help us, Essentra's the one.
All right, we'll be reviewing the surveys in the coming months and preparing local issues and be preparing for the master negotiations. Only result that we've published out of that so far is that the labs did not meet the threshold for a schedule change, but the roll shop did meet that threshold. There'll be more information for the roll shop and what the next steps are going forward here in the Forerunner. Again, it'll be have to be tied to the contract. No solidarity event currently planned for November. If we do get something going, we will get it out at our next podcast, which will be November 12th, and in the Forerunner. I believe there's a new hire group scheduled November 8th.
Yep.
Sounds like we are getting close to where the plant wants our production employee numbers. We'll see where we're at come after November 8th, and then see if they add any headcount due to work. We continue to work on reducing forced overtime in the plant. We've seen some dips, at least in the plate mill, and then go right back up the following week. So realize that the plate mill forced overtime's low this week. Hopefully it stays there.
Seems to be pretty low across the plant, so hopefully these new hires are helping that, and I guess we'll see if it sticks.
Vacation scheduling process should have started in your area. If you have any issues, you can get a hold of your committeemen, but you should be picking your vacations. The SOAR group has canceled all their meetings, and I'm waiting to hear back from Bonnie on whether or not their chili dinner's still on or supper's still on.
I think we'll find out about that on Monday.
So again, that's at the end of November. Still taking We Supply America cards, Lee?
Yep. Me and Pat talked about possibly maybe after next commitment meeting in November, kind of see where we stand to see if we want to send them off to the international. But we do get them trickling in here and there. Again, if you have not gotten a chance to fill out a card, please call down to the hall or contact your committeeman to get a card. It's for the infrastructure bill. Whatever the hell's going on with that bill right now, seems like trying to stumble through it. So hopefully we can get that bill passed and get some more jobs out there, good union jobs at that.
Halloween is coming up. Got some solidarity events related to Halloween. About the trunk or treat and what's going on after that, Lee?
So trunk or treats tonight from 4 to 6:30 at the northwest corner of the plant. After that, Next Gen, and we will have a car down there, Next Gen will, to give out candy to the kids. After that, we're going to have a movie at the hall here. That starts at 7 o'clock. Hocus Pocus is a movie. We will have popcorn and juice available.
Heard that's Pat's favorite movie.
That's what he just said.
And then on Saturday, we'll be participating in the Davenport Halloween Parade. Sean, you going?
I'm thinking about it.
Are you gonna dress up?
Probably not.
Right.
Should I?
Yeah.
As?
Wear your orange shirt.
You wear an orange shirt, but then I'm picturing some headphones.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Should I take one of these mics with me? Hey,
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah. I'm a DJ from Cape Girardeau.
I'm not from Cape Girardeau. Moline. The Quad Cities. Thank you.
You were a DJ in Cape Girardeau.
He could be a DJ for the prisoners.
I was a local radio DJ here in the Quad Cities as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You think we're going to do some, like, Folsom Prison Blues?
There we
and
go. There we go. Because
Jailhouse Rock. You
Pat's
probably
gonna-
know more.
You're pretty good.
You
Wow.
probably know more.
No,
Pat's
what?
going to
No,
have some music playing out of his truck, so you could DJ it. There you go.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
We'll
get some-
Bluetooth your phone to it.
Get some. We put a table up there with some turntables.
We could. We could.
Okay.
I don't hear commitment in your voice, Sean.
I thought you could.
Backed by popular demand, Sean Roberts.
Oh, that could be it.
You got a
Yeah.
Power 98.9 shirt?
I
will
do
put it-
somewhere, yeah.
I will put it on the Facebook this afternoon that
You
Sean
will not.
Roberts will be coming back in the Halloween parade in Davenport this
They're
afternoon.
going to say, who is that?
"Oh no, I know at least
Oh,
one.
you got
I know,
fans.
I know of at
You
least one
got
person
fans.
that'll be there.
I'm going to smack you right in your mouth.
I can hear the girls screaming already. It'll be like the Beatles are here.
At least one.
Anyway, what's next in that bulletin here?
Well, Sean, if you want to meet us, the earliest we can go to our staging area is 4:30. Parade kicks off at 6:30. Our staging area is somewhere around the corner of 4th Street in Iowa, right across from Red Band Coffee. And again, like Mike said, wear your orange T-shirts. We got the Nathaniel Payne Scholarship. Mike?
So we've got the applications sitting in the Forerunner this week. We're going to put it in the Forerunner as much as possible. The deadline this year will be Friday, January 7th. We will be drawn at the business meeting, which is roughly 2 weeks later. We will be drawing 10 again this year. We're providing five $500 scholarships, and Accentra has teamed up with us again this year to provide the other 5. So read about it in the Forerunner and get your application in as soon as possible, but no later than January 7th.
All right, then Lee's been working hard on getting organized a guy to come in and talk about USW free college benefit.
Yeah, so USW has a deal where you can get free college as long as you're a member in good standing. It can be you, your spouse, your children, financial dependents, grandchildren, siblings, or in-laws can participate in this. In the Forerunner, we have an article about it. Dan Jones from the Free College Benefit, he'll be here November 30th, December 1st, and December 2nd. November 30th and December 2nd will be USW meetings that pertain just to USW. On December 1st, we're going to open that up to
Quad City Fed.
Quad City Fed, and he has a program that
That other unions can take in.
Unions can partake in. So be on the lookout for that. We will be having him on the podcast November 12th to interview him, so he'll be able to discuss it a little bit and give a little bit more information. But be on the lookout for the 30th and the 2nd. We will have times to adjust for everyone's schedule. So.
Well, and it's an opportunity for free school, so if you're looking at going back to school, look at the Forerunner and come down and listen to him talk.
Might as well get it for free.
That's right.
All right, I'll skip ahead a little bit, but Lee wrote an article about the times are changing, Striketober, all of the workers rising up for better wages, working conditions, whatever, better treatment. So, wanted to say one thing that's getting overshadowed, because of course we have Deere here, and that's the big focus. But out in California, there's 7,400 USW members that have approved a strike, and I don't think they went out yet.
I don't think so either. Nope.
So, huge amount of possible people could be on strike. Deere's 10,000. That one's, like I said, it's over 7,000.
Kellogg's huge.
Kellogg's is there. Yeah. Thanks, Mike. I almost forgot about them.
Yep.
Anybody else you guys can think of or want to comment on that subject?
Right off the top of my head, I can't think of any more, but I mean, there's some big ones out there. So,
I mean, yeah, it's all people are fed up and
Yep.
they want to take a stand. And I think what one person said, we were told we were essential and we were treated like we're expendable.
Yep.
And it's
that's a good way to put it.
time to show us we're essential. So kind of on that same front, I think they believe this was after our last podcast, but the Kone workers ratified a contract again. On one of our last podcasts, we were out there. We talked to those guys on that picket line, so they've ratified a contract. Of course, moving on to Deere, we'll say we've been to the picket lines and that, and it seems like from what we can read, they're out because of retiree benefits, wages, safety,
some health and safety stuff. Yeah.
And Mike, you were over there at East Moline.
Yep.
You want to comment on anything you saw over there?
Well, I mean, as far as what I see over there is, it's great solidarity. I mean, their union hall was buzzing. There was a lot of people down there. The pile of wood they had was just crazy, of people donating, and we talked to the officers. They're getting a lot of good donations, a lot of things from the public. Talked to some of the people on the line. Everybody still seems pretty upbeat. I mean, we're at the beginning though, so they're going to need lots of support as we go, and I think we plan on giving them some more support. So,
yeah, a little background on what's in our area. There's 865, 49, 434, all out of East Moline, but that's Milan, Moline, and East Moline.
yeah.
One out in Davenport, Iowa is local 281. Also got one in Des Moines, 450. Then 94 in Dubuque, 838 in Waterloo, and 74 in Ottumwa, and that's all around the Iowa and Illinois Quad Cities area. We did get a list of items that they may need. So if you're looking to drop something off, usually when we were at the picket line, they said, hey, we got plenty of food, got plenty of bottled water.
And they do.
Perishable food that's being taken out to the picket line. Here is a list of some of the things they needed: coffee cups, plastic cutlery, spaghetti sauce, pasta, tea bags, pop, ground beef, ground turkey, frozen chicken breasts, tomato sauce paste, chili beans, aluminum pans, different types of spices, syrup, paper towels, paper plates, dish soap, cleaning materials, hot chocolate, coffee, gloves, hand warmers, winter hats, diapers, baby food, personal hygiene items, mac and cheese, canned food, different types of soup, coffee, cereal, fruit snacks, condiments, propane tanks for heaters. A lot of that, I believe, they're trying to get their food bank up and running and stocked up.
When President Stock and I went over there on Monday, that's what they're talking about, is getting their food pantry or whatever they call it up and going, and that was the most important thing. So a lot of those things you said there is what they would need to stock it with. So,
All right, you guys got anything else on that?
On that, I guess something I'd like to add is you've seen the kind of support they've had from the community, from local businesses. If you remember back in 2019, we had a pretty good campaign of getting local businesses to support us. So I think it kind of shows how important that is to have that relationship with local businesses, not just having us support them, but we need to support them as well.
well, yeah. So if you're on Facebook or one of the other social media platforms and you see a business that's supporting the striking workers, go support them.
Yep.
Go support them and tell them why you went over there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like if I drive over to Tap 22 and
Yep.
go over there, it's out of my way. I don't normally go over there. I go over there and say the only reason I'm over here is because I saw this.
Yep.
So free burgers. I would say that is impressive. It's not only some of those guys went out and had signs held, they're offering
Yeah.
free
Right.
food right away, right after it happened.
Yep.
Very, very impressive. Huge support from the community and local unions. So
Agree.
again, we went out and, per our motion, donated items to those guys on at each of the local area UAWs. But sad news out of that strike. It was on Wednesday. The UAW picketer was hit and killed by a vehicle. His name was Richard Ray. I'll read a little bit of what was
Richard Rich.
Richard Rich. Sorry, I apologize. UAW members mourn the death today. A 56-year-old member of Milan, Illinois, Local 79, who was a 15-year employee at Milan John Deere Parts Distribution Plant in Moline, Illinois.
Whoa.
Should be Milan, shouldn't it?
He was from Moline, the gentleman, Richard Rich, and then the PDC is in Milan.
Milan. Yeah.
This
So.
is a direct quote, though, so
Oh, I'm sorry.
I didn't write that.
It's okay.
I'm just fixing it, though.
It's all
Sorry.
right.
He was-
It's all right.
He was struck in a traffic accident and fatally injured while walking to the picket line. On behalf of the UAW, all working families, we mourn the passing of our UAW brothers from Ray Curry, UAW president. It is a somber time to lose a member who made the ultimate sacrifice in reporting to picket for a better life for his family and his coworkers. So have a moment of silence, and then we will be back. Hopefully, we can talk to some people out there on the picket line from Deere.
Okay.
All right, we're here over at the UAW Hall in East Moline talking to Robert Bern. I'm sorry, Robert, I forgot your title.
Vice President, or the Vice President of Local UAW Local 434. I'm also the President of the Quad City Area CAP Council.
All right, thanks for joining us on a busy day for you.
Been busy.
Go ahead. Can you tell us why it's been a busy day?
Well, this is our first day of handing out our strike checks. So this is for us at the UAW. This is the first for UAW John Deere anyway. This is the first strike we've done since 1986. So there's not anybody really in our plant anymore that has, save a few guys, that has actually been on strike at UAW Deere anyway. So it's been kind of interesting. It's a learning experience. And when you have over, I'd say 2,800 members in 3 locals in 1 UAW hall coming to get your strike check after this is also the first week we go without a check from John Deere, it can be just a little bit hectic.
I imagine. The weather hasn't been the greatest here lately. How's that affected the picketers, or you had to buy some extra stuff now?
Yeah, it's a challenge. It's fall, so it's windy, and it's cold, and it's now rainy. So we've had to we prepared as much as you can prepare, especially with, like I said, with a bunch of guys that have never had that experience of doing this. We've asked a lot of questions. We've got a lot of advice, but you nobody ever remembers everything you need. So we started out with some awnings and some fire barrels and everything like that, but quickly it built up to you need ponchos, you need reflective vests, you need fire extinguishers for your fire barrels, first aid kits. You want to make sure that they have a plan of action for lightning storms. That's something that's came up. The wind itself is very interesting because we have, with all the donations we've been getting from the community, we have a lot of food down there. We have a lot of things we don't want to get wet, and with our awnings, if you leave them all the way up, they will just get blown all to bits. So we've lost a few awnings. We've learned a few things on how to keep them prepared for the wind, but it's still, no matter what you do, there's nothing you can prepare for everything. And then of course, the guys and the gals are out there in that all day, all night. Now they're on, everybody's got a shift. So it's not like you're out there all day long, but they're out. My guys are out for 6 hours, so that's a little bit of a stretch. And with the rain and the wind, you also got to worry about people, wandering in the streets. Even our strike line is down on River Drive, and it's a busy street, so you worry about that. We've had pretty good luck, at our line. But you're in the back of your head, you're always worried about a car hitting not only just hitting a puddle and splashing your guys, but hitting your puddle and hydroplaning into the line, something like that. So it's something you got to think about. And there's nothing, until you've done it, there's nothing that really prepares you for it, And the morale though has been high. And I think that is, if it wasn't for the community support, I don't think it would be as high as some of the weather we've had in the last week, at least.
I was gonna ask you, does that help the
yeah.
community support or other local union support?
I think that is probably the biggest thing. When people drive by and just honk, that is, you can see the mood change on the line. When people come by and offer things and offer even if it's just their gratitude, or they're telling you that they're with you, that is what those people need. If you can't do anything else but do that, it's more than you realize what you're doing. Those guys, I've seen it myself when I've drove by. I do a lot of trips down there, and I'll cross by the 865 harvester lines, and you can just see them sitting around in the dark, and you'll know it's cold and you know it's windy. And when you honk at them, it gives them a rush. It gives them a little bit more to go on to get through the night, and it does make a difference. And the community support that was outpouring for this it's just been amazing. I've never seen anything like it. I think it was a combination of the economy that's going on right now. I think it's a combination of the fact that everybody's been bottled up and not had anything a lot to do for the last year and a half for COVID, and it's just been overwhelming. Some of these, I've seen grown men crying at some of the things that have been, people to come to the line and want to give them something, want to thank them, want to shake their hands, and I've seen grown men come to tears that are the hardest guys you ever see in the factory. And it's just that outpouring of support that is just means so much to these guys and gals. It's amazing. It really is. And the local support, you get that immediate, community support, business support, and it kind of starts to fade a little bit. But all the locals like you guys have stepped up since then, and that's what we're getting now. We're getting a lot of local support. We got donations from you guys. We had some teachers unions come down from Chicago and walk with us. They dropped off a whole entire brought down a dump truck full of wood with them, dropped it off in our lot, and it's just amazing things like that. We've had locals from all over the country calling us, wanting to donate pizza. It reminds me a lot of I went up to some of the stuff in Wisconsin, and it reminds me of that, and it's just amazing. It's hard to even wrap your head around exactly how much community support we've had. Especially, a lot of it at first was local businesses, and then now it's the locals, and they've always been there, but they also knew that. And as I talked to them, I always like, listen, we've got everything right now, but in the next couple of weeks, that's going to kind of fall off, and our labor groups know that. They know how this works, so they've been right there to pick up the slack, and it's really helping. It's just amazing. It really is. I don't even know I can't even emphasize it. It's, quite frankly, it's making a difference at the bargaining table. It really is. Deere has changed their mind we were supposed to lose our insurance on the 27th of October. They changed their mind on that, and a lot of that has to do with community support. They were not going to pay us an incentive bonus that they owe us. They have changed their mind because of the outpouring of support from the community. They thought they would be able to turn that tide, and they were not able to. And it forced them not only back to the contract, it's forced them back to actually giving in to some of our demands. So it is, if you're doing a strike, people, I know I've preached it when I've talked to guys training and everything else, that community support is something big. You don't realize how big it really is. It really is. Deere does not like getting a black eye, and they do not like having a negative outlook from what's going on, and it has actually changed. Just what happened to Davenport with the injunction. Mm-hmm. As soon as the backlash came on that, they stopped pushing some of the other ones. So it's amazing what just the outside help has done. So it is. I can't even express my gratitude for you guys. You guys, not even being in the strike, are making a difference on that side. So it's amazing. It really is.
Yeah, when we went through our contract in 2019, we had some community support businesses, either posting a sign or we were taking a picture with a sign. But the difference between the show of support in that and what happened as soon as you guys went out was, to me, was amazing, because it was, hey, free hamburgers here, or come down on this day, you could get, and it was it seemed like they really upped that show of support.
I think it's been the whole pandemic. I really do. I think, and it's not that they wouldn't have done it. It's just I think there's a lot of pent up anxiety about and they're looking for some reason. They're looking for something to get a hold of, and they've got a hold of this, and it really does make a difference. And of course, with all that comes a lot of responsibility. When we get back inside the factory and we get a good bargaining contract, we need to make sure that everybody that supported us gets supported by us, and doubly thanked. And that's what we're going to do. We've got one guy that's all he does is he Excel spreadsheets every business and every local and every group and organization that's donated to us, so we can send thank yous, so we can make sure our members know who supported us, who's we also keep a list for. Like I said, we get a lot of outside locals from outside the state and the town calling, hey, can I call a local pizzeria and deliver some pizza down the line? Which one should I use? Well, we're going to use the ones that donate the stuff to us. We're going to use the restaurants that did that, and we're going to support them when we get back. Just like with you guys, we would anyway, but
you did.
Yeah, we have.
I remember you were over at our last one.
We were at your line
because we were talking about somebody we knew.
Yeah, there was a lot of. And I think it's something that's, I think, going to tighten our labor community, because there was a lot of guys from Deere that got down there and got to see you guys. And even I can tell you that even in this negotiation and the build up to the strike, there was a lot of guys talking about what you guys did at Arconic. They were talking about how you guys were out there and doing that informational picket, and how you guys had the whole entire road there fucking lined up with people. I still got pictures on my phone from that. And I think that's something we're building on. You guys started it. We're making it bigger, and then the next one that comes along is going to do the same thing.
Well, you're going to help us out.
Oh, yeah.
Just in my mind, looking at everything, talking to you about going through this strike, I know in 19, we were not ready.
Yeah.
And just talking to you and seeing what the things you guys are doing, it really opened up my eyes to what you got to do to actually be prepared.
And it is we haven't had the economy for the last 20 years really, to where you could really sustain a good strike and really think that you're really going to, actually have a really good chance of changing things, because the economy's been so depressed and jobs have been leaving and jobs have been going overseas, and now we're starting to see where we have shortages. We're starting to build on the economy's coming back, and they can't get this and they can't get that. They've outsourced so much they can't get it back in the country. They're turning around trying to figure out how to do it here. We're more in the driver's seat than we ever have been. And I think you're going to see a lot of more striking going forward. And we've had a generational gap of where we didn't do it. We don't have the experience that we used to have. I mean, these guys used to go on a strike around here all the time. You had Case, you had John Deere, you had Farmall, you had JL Case, you had all these other companies that were, one of them was on strike for something every once in a while. There was a lot of experience there. We don't have that. We haven't had that for decades, and I think we're going to have to build on that and have to take, and like I said, we took even from you guys in 19, we took ideas what you guys did and tried to incorporate it, and then we kind of had to do a lot of on the ball thinking what we're doing, and hopefully you guys can take something from what we're doing and turn it around again. And I think it can really help the labor community. I mean, they've got to get nervous. A lot of these companies have got to be really nervous about what's going on, because they're starting to see bigger and bigger strikes, and they're more and more successful strikes. You still got Kellogg's, you had Nabisco out there striking, and you had them get a pretty decent deal. Volvo tried over the summer, and I think they ended up doing all right. I wouldn't say it was beautiful. They were out 2 or 3 times, and I don't know exactly what they were wanting, but they had a little bit of problems. But UAW just over there in Kone, I haven't heard any complaints about what they got. I haven't heard what they got, but I assume it was good enough, because they weren't out that long.
Right.
And they're a pretty small local and they're not a small local, but they're a small. That group of that local is pretty not real big. I think it's 60 people.
Right.
But they were out for like 2 or 3 weeks, and they went back. So obviously they got what they wanted, or they wouldn't have done it.
Right.
And they got a lot of community support. I could tell over the summer, just that Kone strike, going out there, and you could feel the just up and down Route 6 there, the honking and the support and people coming out there all the time. Something was a little different, with that. You didn't always see. You always seen that right away, but this was 2 weeks into it when I was out there one day, and there was still a lot of honking. There were still people dropping off McDonald's and everything else, and that's usually something that after the first couple days used to be that they kind of let up, So I think there is a change. I think there's a change in the air, and I think that some of these bigger companies have better start being worried. I mean, it really shouldn't have to be. They shouldn't worry about it, the fact that they're going to pay people the right way. They're making billions and billions of dollars. There's no reason they can't cut us in on it. There's no reason they can't continue to be profitable companies and yet still employ people at a good, honest living. Because quite frankly, we might not buy planters. You guys might not buy a lot of aluminum directly from them, but we use the products that those are made for. Right. And if we have money, we're going to spend it, and we're going to buy things that are going to cause people to buy things from them. So, it just, in the end, it just makes sense. It actually makes business sense. Deere and I'm sure you guys are in the same boat, they have had one hell of a time hiring people. They should not be having trouble hiring people. I could see some of these smaller companies, Hardee's or McDonald's, they should have trouble hiring people. But places like Deere or Iconic or any place like that they should be able to put an ad in the paper and not have any trouble hiring people. And it isn't because people don't want to work. It's that people don't want to work for that kind of money for what we have to do. Shift work, doing a lot of overtime, dirty, hard work. There was always people out there that were willing to do it. Hold on a second. But it's just something that needed to happen. So I think it's gonna change things. I think you're gonna see a wave of labor disputes, as they like to call them, And I think you're going to start seeing some shifting in the power of the working men and women of this country. I really do. So I think it's going to be amazing. I think it's just the start. I don't think this is the end. I think this is the beginning. And I think it started back when you guys were coming in 19. I really do. I could see the shift. I seen when you guys, we had a couple guys that were Deere that went over there, and I was standing on the line with them, and they said the same thing. They felt like it was different. They felt like this one was a little different, and it did. It seemed like it had better support than what, in the early 2000s, if you went on strike, there'd be a lot of times you're getting yelled at on the strike line. People want to get back to work, you lazy bums, whatever. I'm not seeing that anymore. You still get it, don't get me wrong, but it's a lot, even the public support has changed, which is good. And the companies don't like that because they know it's all over. And it's the same reason they're having trouble hiring at Burger King and Taco Bell and Walmart. So people just aren't willing to just do anything for a couple dollars. They want to make money. They want to be taken care of. And I think it's a good thing. I think it's going to be a good thing for this country. So we'll see.
And I know some of your problems is the same ones we're having,
yeah.
So it'd be the same, forced overtime.
Oh, yeah.
Whatnot.
And a lot of it is they just can't hire enough people. We understand that, We would love them to be able to hire anybody. They put out an ad and they not have any problem hiring somebody because it would make our lives easier. You get good people in there that want to work, and you don't have to do 12-hour days, 6 days a week, But they can't do that. They put in ads and they don't get people. They didn't fill spots, and this is not just. A lot of people talk about it was just 2020. I was in leadership in 2018 when we thought the farm prices were going to spike to $7 a bushel. Deere was panicking. Sam Allen I listened to one of his meetings where he was telling us that we had to prepare for 3,000 units a year for the year, and that we needed to hire 250 people. And our LR and our Human Resources Department started to try to do it, and they couldn't get it done. Now, luckily for them, that did not come to fruition. There was a tariff against China that held down the corn prices that year, and we didn't need all those people. But even if we would have, we wouldn't have been able to do it. So, and that was before the pandemic. So, it's not just the pandemic. The pandemic didn't help anything, but there was a labor shortage before the pandemic happened. Yeah. There was plenty of help on its signs before that happened. So it's something that's going to keep going. I can see it. And I think it's going to be a good thing for those of us in labor.
I know you're busy.
Yeah.
So before we let you go, is there anything else you'd like to say? Or if somebody did, let's say, going into next week, hey, they wanted to help out,
yeah.
What could they do or bring to the hall?
We always need firewood. Anything you can do, it really does. There's nothing that we need, but if anything you can do that you would think the guys or the gals out there would like, just drop them off. But honking and standing with them in line is more than enough. It really is. It gives them a kick to see guys come from other locals, other unions, especially out of town, to stand there with them and say, hey man, I'm from, we had some people from Ottumwa come today. I'm from Ottumwa, Iowa. They're still Deere, but still it doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. They drove all this way to be with them. I know they got a kick out of it. So anything like that, and we just can't say enough how much we appreciate it and how much it's helped. So I do thank you guys, and you guys have been great. And I know we will stand with you. We stood with you before, but you guys go through the same thing. We'll be over there to help you guys out too. So, it's kind of, it's been said a lot. It's our time, and it really is. I think it is. I think it's coming around. So we'll see how it goes, and hopefully things will work out for these guys that are on strike, and hopefully when you guys' contract comes up again, you guys can do the same thing and get a decent one. It is the climate's there. It really is. We're kind of in the driver's seat. It's not, I'm not talking like it's 1965 where there was no way to go overseas or anything else, but the fact of the matter is that there's a labor shortage, and it's not just from the pandemic. So we should get better. We should be doing better. All right.
I appreciate you talking to us. again, on behalf of our membership, appreciate you being out there in 2019, and we're just returning the favor. You know, we're trying to all stick together.
Yeah, that's what we got to do, and I appreciate you guys helping us out. I appreciate the donations you guys have done for us, the time and the outreach that you guys have had for us, because it's just been amazing. And like I said, our membership is just, they have been taken aback about how much support they have from this community and the whole and our local labor community. So it's been great. I thank you guys.
All right, best of luck.
Yep, thank you.
Yep, back after a good interview.
Hey, Roy, where can they find us?
What was wherever they find their podcasts?
It's wherever they get their favorite podcast from.
Where would that be?
Ain't you Our Facebook page at Steel Revolution 105, Apple Podcasts, Podcast Addict for Android devices, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Odyssey, Libsyn.com, Local's website, and Mike's favorite room in the building, the men's restroom here at Local 105 on Devil's Glen Road.
It's Pat's second office.
Pat's alternate office. Yes.
Oh, President Pat, right? Is that what you call
President
him?
Stock.
Yeah.
President Stock.
Excuse me.
President Stock.
President Stock.
Hey, that was a very good interview, by the way.
Thanks, Sean. It really, I hope our membership listens to that and prepares for what we need to do
Coming up. Yep.
Come our time in March, April, May.
I agree.
Agreed.
Hey, Sean. Or Mike.
Mike.
Don't forget to say something good about your union.
Every day. See you guys later.
Steel Revolution is a production of Steelworkers 105, Bettendorf, Iowa.